It's a brand new day and big thanks for joining us on today's episode of This Morning on ITV. My name is Philip Amor Gukman. Of course, I've got my co-anchors with me, Oluwapo Stevens, good morning, and Lawrence Osifo.
Good morning, Philip. Good to see you.
Great. Lawrence?
Hey, Philip. Good morning, Anno. Good to be here again. As
Good morning.
always, every day we wake up, we dress up, and we're sure to analyze what's happening in the polity and in the politics.
Yeah, good to see you guys on the bright side. Well, let's get to our Lagos studio where Marcelina Unko is standing by. Good morning, Marcelina. You look great this morning.
Many thanks, Philip. Good morning. See you. Good morning, Anu, and good morning, Lawrence. Trust you guys are doing good for this beautiful morning.
Awesome. Well, as the show progresses, we could be joined by Tulokbe Ogutumain from the Abuja studios. But quickly, every day that breaks comes with its challenges and issues, most especially just recently, where the Prime Minister of Britain, Starmer, resigned over his inability to, or over the pressure from its party, Labour Party, for the failed policies. And again, reactions have been coming up even where the presidential candidate actually of the NDC, Peter Obi, was saying that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria, should follow suit. Well, reactions like that. Basically, there was a reaction over that by the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Nanuga, where he said, well, there are issues that the presidential candidate of NDC is not bringing into the front burner, most especially when the system of government we practice is quite different from that of the Britain. Well, all of these issues have been really raising issues as regards if really the presidential candidate of NDC was putting up his right thinking cap by saying that. I know.
Oh, well, it's safe to say that Peter Obi got his motivation from the recent resignation we saw in the UK with Keir Starmer resigning as the Prime Minister right there in the UK. Well, a lot of questions have been raised and a lot of critics. Well, the side of Peter Obi in support of what he said yesterday, and the side of the current administration also saying you do not have the right to say that. In fact, the presidency has reacted to all of the claims that he said yesterday and calling it childish. But let's look at the reason why Peter Obi is even clamoring for the resignation of President Bola Tinubu. Number one, he cited worsening insecurity we're currently bedeviling, in our nation, saying that it has been worse since the inception of this administration. But then again, the counter claim from the presidency would be that insecurity didn't start from today. It didn't start in this current administration. And Peter Obi also highlighted the state of governance in the country, the worsening situation, if I'm to put it that way, the high cost of living, the fact that inflation is on the rise, we're still grappling with, food insecurity. He could actually go on, and with all of these things that he has seen, he felt it needful that the president should take to his word and just drop the baton, because at the end of the day, in the the presidential campaign we had in 2023, president said that if he doesn't provide security, if it doesn't provide electricity, the Nigerians shouldn't vote him in the second term. But just to land on this note, I don't think I've seen any president in Nigeria that's actually resigned. I've hardly seen a politician in the country that's actually thrown in the towel and say, you know what, I'm not doing it again, I cannot keep up with the hardship, right? So let me just throw in the towel. That's never happened. Maybe if it has, Lawrence, you have something to say. Have you
but don't forget that the situations that is pertaining to that of Britain is quite different from that of Nigeria, most especially when we have different systems of government, and that of the UK is not a fixed term, but that of Nigeria is, as what the special advisor also reacted.
What they practice there is not what we practice here, like the presidential system of government, where you have a prime minister and you also have the head of the government. That was what we practice, I think, in the second or in the third republic, where you have Tafawa Balewa as the prime minister, you have Nnamdi Azikiwe.
But should we even go back there?
I think that
at least where we see that the policies of the president are failing, then it just takes about.
Yeah, I think if you ask me, that is a better system. If you ask me personally, not being sentimental, not being biased, that is actually a better system. But the problem the United Kingdom is having recently is a problem that when you look at it, because before Starmer, it was Rishi. After Rishi, Starmer came in, and what also happened before Rishi left, it was the whole politics of the Labour Party and the Conservative. They were not having what they need in Parliament and all that. But over there, they have their system. But someone was talking to me yesterday, said, are you not seeing the knock of the Nigerian-born British Kemi Badenoch coming to become the next Prime Minister?
We'll save that for another day. We'll save that for another day.
Peter, are we calling on President Bola Tinubu to follow suit? I don't think it is wrong, because the opposition are supposed to be there to do what? To monitor the incumbent.
Yeah, you don't think it's wrong, but again, let's look at the pressure that is coming from the parliamentary system of government as practiced by the British. And of course, if we've had the resemblance of that, like you said, even in the archives where we also practiced that at the beginning stage of governance in Nigeria, you know. If we can also go back there, because we seem to be having a challenge practicing the president system of government, particularly when too much executive powers are centered on the president. The Nigerian president seems to be the most powerful president of the world. Well, let's get your thoughts on this, Mr. Lena.
Like Lawrence said earlier, you know, we are expecting the president to resign. I mean, this whole thing started when we saw that the UK Prime Minister, you know, resigned his resignation letter. We all saw that was when Peter Obi said, okay, the president should resign. I mean, this is not the first time they are coming out to tell the president to resign because of insecurity, either food insecurity or all of that. And, you know, we all know that we've never seen, especially in Nigeria, where the president will come out to say, oh, I'm resigning because I'm not being able to meet what the people, the expectations of the people. I mean, you're there to serve the people, you're not meeting the expectations. They would not want to resign. The truth is, it's not going to work. I mean, Peter Obi is in the opposition party. What do you expect? He would definitely come as the president, the incumbent president. So the UK Prime Minister resigning and the Peter Obi coming out to say that the president should resign, it will not work. We all know that. The president will not resign. So let's just see what happened next.
Don't forget that the UK British Prime Minister didn't just come up one day to say he wants to resign. I think pressure was mounted on him. But again, how do we make sure that the policies of the government really work? Most especially where we have the 2027 election coming closely. And again, don't forget that there could be also political undertone, you know, over this insecurity. And that is also putting much weight on the president. Well, we'll see how that goes, most especially as some are saying that the president candidate of NDC is saying this as a result of the failure of its candidate, you know, and they just concluded a Ekiti governorship poll. Well, basically that's what we're going to be looking at in a short run from now. But we'll take a short break and then we'll look at the pages of the newspapers. Do stay. glancing the pages of the newspaper, and our first point of call is on the Punch. And let's see how punchy this is. Well, the headlines, the very one begging for answers, is this, which is on state police. And it says governors demand greater powers. Looking at institutional reforms, of course, constitutional meet up with the constitutional guidelines in order to, bring a level ground in terms of the proposal raised by the different states' attorneys. Is what this is all about. Well, this also says Nigeria's $5 billion swap deal triggers fake warning. And of course, we also have this that says Bonham emerges front runner for UK PM as Starmer resigns. That's a quick one. Just as he resigned just a day ago, you're having another coming up as a front runner. We should have something like this, in Nigeria, because it brings about beauty of democracy. It brings about competitiveness, and it gives room for those who are in power not to rest on their oars. Always thinking of what to do. Otherwise, you'll be egged out.
That is how to be.
When do we get here? Well,
when do we get there?
When do we get here? Because all of this will have to do with maybe practicing the parliamentary system of government. Yeah. All right, this says beyond transactions, OPE and the rise of Nigeria's new economic infrastructure. Again, we look at this at the bottom of the cover page. Plateau tragedy, death toll hits 20, clinic attacked. You can imagine that. All of this insecurity really raising questions, and that's why a lot of persons, political figures, including that of the NDC presidential candidate, is talking about this. On insecurity, Igboho defends action as ACF, NEF warns of anarchy. 3 nabbed after cleric dies in Ondo Hotel. Nigerian shelters over 100,000 refugees, asylum seekers. Federal government has that to say. Well, there's just a few headlines on the Punch newspaper.
We now turn our attention over to the New Telegraph newspaper, leading with insecurity. As it says, negotiation corridor with terrorist has closed. Who is speaking? Gumi alleges. Subwriter says security forces intercept a large cache of arms in Kogi, arrest 3 suspects. Terrorist presence caused panic in Niger communities. We saw videos flying all over social media. 22 killed in fresh Plateau attack. All of this and more on page 2, 27, and 29 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Away from that, alleged defamation, court orders Showare's remand in Kuje Correctional Center on page 6. Proper investment in security panas for better economy. Who was speaking? Kalu. Tinubu's resignation call divides representatives minority caucus. On page 4, you get details of that story. Cocaine gas crisis. Federal government orders crackdown on LPG hoarders. Details of this on page 7. All other interesting information on the front page of the New Telegraph this morning. It says UK-based Nigerians hail federal government for contactless passport renewal. On page 6, says waiting time reduced from months to days. Bureaucracy hindering in stable condition. Sanwo-Olu reaffirms Lagos' commitment to security on page 3 and 5. Stakeholders raise concerns over teachers' plight, school safety, says condemn lack of recognition, poor societal perception of teachers, as NUT laments members' professions neglect. Government should invest, upgrade infrastructure in public schools. Who is speaking? TRCN. And finally, on New Telegraph today, sickle cell, check your genotypes before marriage. Experts warn intending couples. On page 27. I'll do well to pick up a copy of the New Telegraph today.
All right, let's see what we've taken the Punch. Let's see what the Tribune is talking about. The Tribune is leading with presidency to Obi. Your call for Tinubu's resignation, childish. You can find that on page 15 of the Tribune. On page 3, Orire abduction protesters in Ibadan. Again, the demand release of teachers, pupils. Catholic bishop laments their continued detention. On page 26, outrage in Osun as gunmen shoot 14-year-old dead. Deceased family residents demand police probe. Accord boycotts meeting with CP, that's the Commissioner of Police, calls for arrest of members and the killers. Below that, we can also see on page 4, Lassa fever death toll rises to 210. This is according to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as medical doctor dies in Benue. On page 2, Nigeria currently hosts over 100,000 refugee asylum seekers. The federal government is the one saying this. On page 4, cuts cervical cancer deaths to near zero before 2030. This is according to study. And page 26, gunman kills pastor, 4 health workers, 16 others in Plateau. Police in gun duel with kidnappers in Ondo rescue victims unhurt. And finally, federal government orders crackdown on hoarding, diversion of cooking gas to stabilize prices.
A quick look at the Guardian newspaper, and I've got to save what I wanted to take first for the last. Don't ask me why. Okay, let's go with this. It says, spike in bus fares, rents force Nigerians to live in cars, offices and shops. Can you imagine that? Spike in bus fares, rents force Nigerians to live in cars, offices and shops. You get that on page 6. And of course, we have this the photo here, which is, tells a lot of stories. Petrol at 1,230 per liter is making a lot of people unable to pay their rents. As you can see, some are really sleeping in their vehicles in spite of the insecurity that is there bedding up. Nigeria, my country. All right, this says federal government tasks manufacturers on cement price cut affordability. And of course, we have this federal government to audit LPG market as import hits 26,700 MT amid export by Chevron. Presidency reps dismiss calls for Tinubu's resignation over economy and insecurity. Reps dismiss calls. All right, it says court remands Sowore in prison over bail breach, dismisses recusal application, and witnesses El-Rufai wiretapped NSA's phone. And let's get to the last but not the least. This says, don't seek re-election. Orisa Jafo tells Tinubu. That is difficult.
I now see the reason why I say you're saving the best.
Can you imagine that?
Orisa Jafo.
Can you imagine that? You are telling the president not to have his second
the
term?
Orisa Jafo that I know, the pastor in Delta, or
All right.
another one.
All right.
Another one.
Former
Of course, that's it.
president.
That's it.
Former
Of course, that's
Former
it.
camp president.
Yeah, what do you have there? Okay.
Interestingly, yesterday he was at his sister's station where he said so many things. I'm
Okay.
sure the national dailies actually, have
Yeah, they have
glimpse
to
of
pick
what he
this.
said. So, well, it's really shocking to Nigerians because reading from what he said, he also highlighted the late Buhari's administration and trying to, streamline it with what is going on in the country. But we move away from that and we go over to the first daily newspaper. If we can, it says 1 month, no freedom. Anger mounts as abducted Oyo pupils. Teachers remain missing. Today makes it day 39 of abduction in Owerri local government area. Ekiti PDP rejects governorship results, alleged irregularities. Onanuga blast Obi's resignation call, says Tinubu delivering results. We've highlighted that already. Delta student kills younger brother over hostile disputes. Federal government, Nigeria now hosts over 100,000 refugees, asylum seekers. Well, another major headline we haven't touched on says Adeyanju testifies against El-Rufai in alleged security breach trial. We saw that happen yesterday. Umahi orders cement manufacturers to slash prices. And finally, on the front page of the first daily newspaper, Obi to Tinubu, honor your words, resign. Well, that's all the Post Daily have for us this morning.
Oh, well, I'm afraid there's much we can take on the pages of the newspaper. Do well to internalize that by getting close to the nearest vendor, and of course, go online and do that. We will be quickly diving into our first discussion from the Benin studio, where we take a look at the review of the Ekiti governorship election, and of course, the projections it has for the 2027 state.
Onwa is rich in culture and traditions. The people are a mixture of traditional worshippers, Muslims and Christians. Onwa is located at the northern part of Edo State. It consists of two local government areas, that is Onwa West and Onwa East. It has a total number of 13 clans and 21 political wards, according to National Population Commission 2006 census. The population of Onwa people is put together at 251,686. The people love tradition and culture. Historically, the people ancestors in deep quest to hand down on their future children a society of love and friendship.
ITV, certainly the best.
In a rare display of botanical brilliance, the palm tree defied natural norms, sprouting multiple branches that bear fruits. This rare occurrence has become a wonder to many, as experts are calling it a one-in-a-million phenomenon. Could this multiple-headed marvel hold secret to agricultural breakthroughs, or is it simply a freak accident of nature? An agronomist with Nigeria Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFOR Benin. The strange palm tree also raises issues of a blend of science with human interest and cultural significance for maximum impact.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet. Benin Cultural Dance, a unique dance and quality dance steps of the Benin people. This dance is a vibrant mix of traditions, arts and beliefs, deeply rooted in the country's diverse ethnic groups and their rich history. The dance has artistic expressions depicting the people's history. Benin people have been famous for bronze and brass work, some of which is said to date back from the 13th century, especially ivory and wood carving. In Benin, the people dance to show respect, honor, dignity, which they honor. They dance to show royalty, as naids are seen in their numbers around their body depicting the symbol of kingship.
The threat of global warming is real. You have seen the destruction of lives and property as a result of incessant flooding. Make the environment a conducive place for all to live in. Stop polluting the environment. Protect the environment today. This message is brought to you courtesy Independent Television and Radio.
some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Ekiti governorship election review outcome and implications for 2027 is what we are about. And joining me in the studio to discuss and highlight this, I have a businessman, CEO Wakamap, a technocrat, and of course the former Guba candidate of Accord Party in the Edo governorship election, and he is Dr. Bright Inabulele. Big thanks for coming, Dr. Bright.
Oh, thank you for having me in your studio. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, still joining us via Zoom, we will be having the opportunity to get the presence of the Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy, and she is joining via Zoom from Abuja, Faith Unwadeshi, JP MPI. Good morning, Faith. Via Zoom from Epoma, Brussels University, is a lecturer, Ibrahim Momo. Ibrahim Momo is a political economist. Good morning, Ibrahim.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, quickly, let's get to you, Dr. Brighton Abulele. You are a politician. Of course, you contested in the Goba in Edo State under the platform of Accord Party. And of course, we are seeing what is happening in Ekiti Goba election. Of course, where Oyebanje has been thrown up as the winner of that election by winning 319,224 votes over that of his closest rival of the PDP that garnered 40,543, and of course that of the ADC that got 12,872. What do you see as what determined the polls, and of course what do you see as the gains or challenges, shortfalls that we had in that election?
Well, for me, I see a very poor turnout this election. When you have a lot of registered voters, almost 1 million registered voters, and you see the outcome, less than 33%. We must do better. We must engage voters better. It's not about a message. It's about voters' education, voters' engagement. So our electoral intelligence is very weak, and I think we should do that against 2027 election. For me, as the CEO of the first GPS intelligent election intelligence platform, I felt INEC should engage to such platform better, because it's not about the message you're conveying to the people. It's about taking the voters to the voting process, candidate engagement, and then you see a proper turnout. Even in the last presidential election, we have over 93 million registered voters, and the turnout was less than 10% since the Fourth Republic of Nigeria. For me, I saw that's very poor.
Okay.
Very poor for our youths, very poor for the nation. So we need a proper citizen engagement, and that would change the outcome of 2027 election that we are going to experience.
Okay.
So, yes.
You are not just only a businessman or a technocrat. You run, a GPS company.
Yes.
So how does that bring gains in terms of the GPS as regards having electoral credibility?
Well, first of all, we have to look at our election intelligence, infrastructures that support elections, that mobilize voters, young voters, because at 90% of this election, we're going to have a lot of swing states. For me, I am the CEO of Wakamab. It's not just the GPS system. It's also an election information platform that allows voters to locate their polling unit. A lot of these voters, they are disenfranchised. They look at their voters card. A lot of polling units in Nigeria, 176,000 polling units. People get confused sometimes. And we must start on time to start engaging these voters, allow them to know their polling unit on time so that they can prepare for this election. Most of the time, they just say, well, I don't know where I'm going, they stay home. Not that the informations that most of these candidates don't pass these informations, but this information don't cut across to the voters. They are not encouraged. There's no voters in education. And ANET Electoral Act supports platforms that mobilize voters, that encourage voters to participate in this election. That's where we come in. We have a GPS-based election infrastructure. And I think INEC, candidates, political party should engage us properly.
Okay, well, you are also a politician.
Matter of fact, I'm very active right now. I'm also a senatorial aspirant.
Okay. While we let that to settle, let's look at what transpired in Ekiti. Some have said, well, it's as a result of the performance of the governor in his first term. We've never had this, where consecutively the governor of the state will have a second term. But this is coming up unique for Oyebanje. Do you see this as a demonstration of the support from the electorate or a weak opposition?
Well, I cannot call it a weak opposition. Like I said from the beginning, it's all about the voters' awareness and engagement. First of all, congratulations to him on the election. Like you said, it's very hard to see coming back and win the election. They must have done something wonderful that we must also look into the coming election. We're all going to be facing 2027 election. The reason I'm here is the implication of this election to 2027 election.
Exactly.
So we must take that as a template on how we impact the 2027 election. For me, when I look at this election, the narrative here is very simple. There was not so much voters' engagement. The message is not a problem. Is engagement, education, because 90% of the time, most of these swing state, I call it a swing state, because it could have gone opposite way. People don't understand that technology is very important. Technology-based infrastructures that will allow message. When you're not prepared, sometimes you are prepared, but sometimes your preparation might not be good enough based on how you come across to the voters.
Okay.
For me here at this present time, I just saw a lot of education weakness of these voters.
Okay.
But I want to congratulate him first for
All right. I'll come back to you. Let's quickly get to you, the Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy, CTA, Faith. Now, you observed that election, I believe, and of course, what do you see as the challenges that popped up, or do you agree with the indices and, of course, the figures that were churned out in favor of the governor-elect?
Thank you very much. Good morning for having me, and good morning, Nigerians. The Ekiti election is always a very interesting one. If you go back history from 2018, 2022, and now 2026, you will see that aside the fact that the number of voters increased, you will see that we're having declining number of voters who are coming out. So in 2018, there was about 44% turnout. And now in 2022, we had about 36% and just about the same percentage of turnout for this particular election. I was not on ground in Ekiti personally, but I had 120 observers on ground who were giving us live information from Ekiti. So preparation before the election, you will see, I want to agree with the guests in the studio that talked about the issue of voter education and civic education. And I think that responsibility should be squarely put on the table of the political class and especially the opposition. Something that happened in Ekiti shows you and throws up the fact that we have a gap in the opposition parties that we have in the country and the way they prepare for elections. So you have opposition party candidates and opposition parties who are looking at the incumbent and following up on the programs of the incumbent. Rather than being proactive, they are being reactive to the programs of the incumbent. Opposition party is supposed to be proactive. You have your program. You're supposed to be like a government in waiting. The same programs, you have your own plans, so that if there's a misfit or there's a problem with what the incumbent is doing, you come up with your own plan. So what we saw happen in Ekiti was, first and foremost, something that has never happened before, an incumbent governor coming in. Not just coming in, but coming in with about 53% of the number of votes he got in the first election in 2022. In 2022, he won with a little above 180,000, but now he's winning with above 300,000 votes that you are seeing in that particular election. So it's either he did something right, or that the citizens were happy with him and they came out to do the votes. And you know that where the number of voters that we have in Ekiti, because of the CVR and all of that, is increasing. And also just want to give a little bit of information here based on the issue of using of technology. Sometimes citizens think that when we come out to vote, we are doing the politicians a favor, forgetting that it is in our power to hire and fire, and that the PVC that we have is not just an ID card, but that document that gives you the legitimacy to hire and fire. So people need to really understand that INEC, civil society, and the political class, people who go out, should engage citizens and discuss with them. And then one other thing that people are not talking about that has come out of this election is that if you look at from 2018, 2022 to 2026, you will see that the number of invalid votes, they are reducing. We had about 12,000 in 2022, and now it's just about 6,000 votes. In 2018, we had about 18,000 votes that were invalidated. Now you have that. So it's either the citizens are beginning to understand how to ensure that their votes count, or their ballots are valid. That is one important thing we should look at going into 2027 election. And perhaps we should also engage citizens on ensuring that they know how to properly vote and keep that. But one challenge that still keeps coming up is this challenge of vote buying. You know, when you go to the Southwest and you are on ground for election, I was there in 2018, I was there in 2022. I just this 2026, I didn't go, I was not on ground, but followed up very closely with observers that we deployed. You will go around and hear people say Diboko Sobe. Diboko Sobe simply means vote and make a pot of soup. So people were collecting 5,000, 10,000 naira to sell their votes. Perhaps that's the money that they will use to cook the soup that they want to use for the next 4 years. So we need to continuously interrogate this. But outside that, the security was good. Before the election, about 469 polling units were flagged as flashpoints. But on election day, there was no incidents of violence that could mar the entire process. Then the second one we should also look at is the performance of the beavers. Even though the beavers performed well, considerably well, but in some cases the beavers also didn't perform, and that delayed election. Some people had to go because they were waiting for the beavers to either be replaced or for the RACTEC to come to repair that beavers, and that also kind of didn't really go out well. Some other things that went well was that elections opened on time. In the polling units where we observed, we found that 85% of the polling units opened by 8:30. In fact, they were ready to start.
Right.
And interestingly, when they started with old persons and vulnerable people. So those are the things we should consider going into 2027 election.
Thank you very much for that analysis. Actually, you saved me the time of asking you further questions. You really nailed it. Well, let's get to you. Ibrahim Momo, a lecturer at Brooklyn University, a political economist. You've been following the trend, and most especially where some are saying that, well, the policies of the federal government isn't all very well. And again, we are saying victory for not just the governor that had his first term, but again, victory for the APC as a party. Do you see this as the performance of the party at the national level, or that of the governor of Ekiti State, or as a result of weak opposition?
Well, it is a combination of all three. One, without doubt, the APC, as of today, is the dominant political party in Nigeria, whether at the state level among governors, whether it is the National Assembly, Senate, or House of Reps. The APC remains the dominant party. So that's one element. Second element, of course, is the fact that when you look at the results, the governor won in all 177 wards in the states. All 177 wards in the states. That's indicative of, because in politics we say all politics is local. It shows a man who is on ground. So even beyond the fact that the APC is the dominant political party in the country, the governor, in polling a total of 319,224 votes, out of he polled 319,224 votes, out of a total vote cast of 383,940, as declared by the total vote cast was 383,940 votes. He polled 319,224. That's 83.14% of total vote cast. That is, without doubt, a governor on ground. No question about it. Then the third point, of course, is the fact that the opposition seems to be fractured. In fact, in order to the election, one would think that the ADC, the African Democratic Congress, and its candidate, Olu Bejide, was going to, give the current governor, the incumbent governor, a run for his money. But what happened was that the PDP's candidate, Oluyede, even scored far more votes than the Olubejide of the ADC. She shows that despite its challenges, the PDP is still more on ground. We saw that with the FCT elections, where PDP won one out of the 6 council elections. We saw it again in Ekiti, where PDP candidate Olubejide polled over 4,000 votes as against the ADC's candidates 12,000 plus votes. So it's not pleased with the fact that, but significantly is the fact that in a very dominant ruling party like the APC, we are seeing that the opposition is still finding it difficult to come together, to coalesce around, one strong opposition. And that is going to play a very significant role in the outcome of 2027 general elections. We are seeing that the APC continues to dominate, wins or retains from the seats that it already holds, whereas the opposition is further divided. At the last count, we are seeing Peter Obi of the NDC, we are seeing Atiku Abubakar of the ADC, we are seeing so opposition is still very divided. We are seeing candidates across political parties, even the governor for you want to contest. So I think that all 3 points are actually valid. The APC is still very dominant. The governor seemed to have performed and enjoyed the backing of the people. 83.14% of total vote cast. It's no mean feat. And whereas we have had governors who have ruled twice.
Thank you.
We have seen Ayofayo Osei rule twice. We have seen Khalifa Yemi rule twice.
Right.
But none of them have been able to get, retain the seats. They only came back after they lost and came back to win.
Thank you, Ibrahim.
In this case, for the first time.
Thank you, Ibrahim. You said a lot, most especially as regards the fragmented opposition, as we can see. And there has been efforts, even by the media and all and sundry, to make sure that we have a viral opposition to make the competitiveness robust. But again, the compensating factor could be another challenge, because you basically ran for governorship, in Edo State, and probably the compensating factor worked against you. But I will be coming to you to give your vent on that after this short break. Do stay.
Thank you.
Well, let's have your vent on this, most especially where you are still a politician.
Yes.
And of course, you are the current senatorial candidate for the ADC. ADC. Okay, now, let's look at the figures here. And of course, the compensating factor. Going to 2027 election, in spite of the challenges of insecurity, you know, at the general level in the country, do you see what panned out in Ekiti election as what we could also pan out in favor of the ruling party?
Oh, yes. Let me properly make the audience understand I'm still a very active politician, currently senatorial aspirant in NDC. For me, opposition should do better. You cannot fold your hands. It has to do with election intelligence. And we are not engaged in that. I see most of this opposition and just thinking it's all about manpower, awareness, and all that.
Okay.
When I look at the platform, I don't see proper election intelligence for the opposition. And that's going to play a big factor in 2027. What I'm saying, political opposition parties should engage on election intelligent infrastructure. If they're going to have a voice, whether it's election capturing results, whether it's mobilizing the young voters into the polling unit, whether it's a voters' education, that would make a deciding factor in 2027. And I see it echoes around, even including me that's on the process. I've echoed to many politicians, political parties, and said, look, if you're going to have a voice in 2027, engage properly.
All right.
Okay.
Big thanks. Thank you very much for taking up time to be part of this, Dr. Enabulele. And of course, we'll look at better time to engage you on this. Okay. Big thanks also to the Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy, and big thanks also to you, Ibrahim Momo, a lecturer at AU. And of course, we have the opportunity to engage more about you. Dr. Bright, big thanks.
Thank you,
Dr. Bright was the global candidate of Accord Party of Edo State governorship election for what year?
2023.
2024. Okay.
That just passed.
All right. And of course, you are also the CEO, Wakamap, technocrat, businessman.
Yes.
Big thanks for taking our time to be part of this.
Thank you for having me in your studio.
Yeah, we'll take a short break, after which we go into security matters in Edo State. Do stay.
What does one do with a bunch of memories? Laugh about them, cry over them, or capture them? I know what I'll do with such memories. I'll showcase those memories. Yes, I will show them to the world. I will flaunt those memories. Showcase that marriage ceremony of yours. Burial ceremony? Yes, let the people know that you buried your person in a grand style. Thanksgiving, ordination, baby dedication, housewarming party, and lots more on your entertainment program, Memories, on Independent Television. Every Sunday, remember, for your events to be considered thick and classic, then it has to be on Memories. Memories.
Indeed, thank you so much for staying tuned with us on the program this morning on ITV. Still in our Benin studio, we've looked at the outcome of the just concluded Ekiti Goba election. But let's turn our attention to security matters in Edo. It's been some
if you allow me to say, harrowing experience lately with some of the things that has been happening in the state, kidnapping, killings, cultism, just name it, the ills of the society. But there is a bounty by the state government. When you see something, you say something, and when you see something and say something, there are rewards that goes with it, whether for courtesan or for kidnapping. Bounty sum of 3 million naira and 5 million naira respectively. Let's speak with someone who is close to the corridor of the governor, the special advisor to the governor on special duties, the person of Alex Uriesi, who is the senior special assistant rather to Governor Monday Ukbevolo. Let him give us some insight into the whole see something and say something about the security situation in Edo. Alex, good morning and good to have you again on the show. If you can hear me, Alex. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you better.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Pretty sure you heard my intro about the see something and say something in Edo and some of the rewards that goes with it. Now, looking at how the insecurity has been lately, from all that has happened or happening in Ekboma, Edo Central Senatorial District, Urumi, down to the recent kidnapping in the city center, that is Airport Road. Very scary that something like that could happen in the city, though the culprit has been apprehended and they are, a whole lot are going on right now. Let's not also forget the one that happened in Auchi, the killing of a driver at a park. So all these things tied to kidnapping, cultism, and the ills of the society. What would you really say your principal, the governor of the state, is doing to tackle this issue head on? Because it's becoming a threat to both citizens and residents of Edo.
Thank you very much for having me this morning. I want to say that I want to lay emphasis on the fact that security is now everybody's concern. Security is no longer a business of some people or a business for just the military personnel and the police officers. Security is now everybody's issue. I want to draw your attention to how swift the vegetable market incident was handled and taken care of. If not for anything, His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebolo should be given an award, because this is one of the first times that an incident or whatever it is that has been tagged is being handled under 24 hours. Under 24 hours. This same incident got to expose, and a lot was uncovered, that this same set of people had kidnapped another person whose vehicle was used for this same mission. That is to show you that our police is working seriously. Our police are working day and night. The Commissioner for Police, Monday Agbonika, instructed his men under the command of His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebolo that if those perpetrators are not brought to book under 24 hours, then the state will not be at rest. And that was proven that it could be handled. Right now, I can tell you the DPOs of all police stations in Edo State are in the bush, searching, clearing, and making sure peace is being gotten in Edo State. And we are seeing the peace. I don't know whoever orchestrated that mission is a vegetable market, but the person only showed us how prepared our security agencies are ready to tackle whatever is happening. The program See Something, Say Something is and can be what would have saved that woman's life. And because people saw something, people had cameras outside, because that is also seen, people were talking, people were giving description and description of how they looked and everything, and the police used all of that to their advantage. I want to say to the citizens and indigenous of Edo State, Edo is safe. Edo is safe, because if a child can misbehave and be put to correction by his parents, then everything is good. His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebolo is the father of our state, and he's making sure that everybody is sleeping very carefully. Yes, the security issue is everywhere. Other states now are coming to learn what Edo is doing to keep their state safe. So His Excellency is busy engaging governors to advise them on policies and actions to be taken on how the state should be kept safe. See something, say something is a very serious business, because security is now everybody's business. We are not going to fold our hands and say it's only for police. It's only for police. I saw a video where the police were trying to effect an arrest, and then the individual were resisting, and I heard the people around shouting, "Let the police do their work. Let the police do their work." Because now we are now taking this very seriously. We're not going to fold our hands and see bandits and whatnot come into our society and make a mockery of us. Because if something is working in Edo State, it is now in this present administration. I don't want to say some people are trying to orchestrate and make the state look like what is not, so that His Excellency can be distracted.
All right, Alex, let me pause you there for a while. Now, you made mention of the people, because I also saw that video of some persons with the security cameras, capturing what happened at Airport Road. But you wouldn't think it is safe to say those guys would have to accost the people who were armed, because these persons were actually armed broad daylight at Airport Road. Airport Road is not one local government access. It's a city center. It's a major route in Benin City. And from the look of things, the palace is very close by, a stone throw to even the government house. So I don't think someone who sees situations like that will want to go probably accost those guys. But let's shift our attention away from that. Now, the see something, say something. How safe with a person who is saying, because most of the times the problem we have in this country is confidentiality. I give information to the security guys. How sure am I that either gives that information to them, my life is safe, so that somebody wouldn't come after me tomorrow? Let's talk about the safety of I see, I say, or someone sees and say. What is the safety of that person who is dishing information to the security agents? How safe is that person's life going to be?
Thank you very much for this question. Thank you very much. Just briefly before I move on to this question, I want to let you know that to say something, or rather, to say something, say something is a very safe policy. It's a very airtight security safe network. That is something I should let you know. The people that were interviewed for the vegetable market, you did not hear of it. The people that gave information that they knew and what we all saw on the video that was captured were not gotten. This is because their confidentiality and protection is paramount. Now, you are saying something doesn't mean everybody else is not saying it. But who said cannot be gotten? This is because they are protected by law and they are protected by the security outfit who is carrying these things on themselves. I want to let you know that this is a program that is airtight. His Excellency Senator Modi Okpebholo is a very precise man, a very passionate man about his people. So he's not going to set up a panel or a committee to get the community to be involved in security and not protect them. The community is well protected. I can tell you I can want to mention the amount of agencies that are involved in this, but if I do, that would be a lead, which is not necessary because the community is safe. The community now is commending His Excellency Senator. They will not commend him if they lost hope in him now. And don't forget, for kidnapping is 5 million naira. For cultism, it is 3 million naira reward for anybody that sees something and that has said or will say something. So there is a reward for your confidentiality. There is a reward for you helping the people and the security agencies solve a problem. His Excellency Senator Modi Okpebholo has brought a new style of governance into Edo State that we haven't seen before. And this is a governance of trust. Once you can trust the government, and once the government can get the trust of the people, there's nothing that is impossible to happen in Edo State. I just want you to watch what is coming up in a couple of months of His Excellency's agenda to transform Edo State, and you'll see how this is going. Okay. You cannot have a development in a state without trust of the people.
All right, Alex. Now, the governor has written to create a special court for the trial of kidnapping and cultism, to decongest the regular court from litigations that lingers for, in most cases, months and years, as the case may be. How effective do you think this special court is going to be in terms of trial? I watched the governor's interview. He said so that they can try them in less than 3-4 weeks or a month, as the case may be. But let's look at that from another angle, and also look at another angle of extrajudicial trial, so that it doesn't seem like someone who was within the vicinity that was arrested will now be counted among those who perpetrated the act. Meanwhile, in most cases, some persons could be innocent. We've seen that happen in this country several times. They arrest the wrong persons while the one who committed the act is somewhere chilling in one place. So how do we make sure that at the end of the day, the innocent person who is just a passerby wouldn't be picked and go and be tried extrajudicially by that same court that would do their job within the space of 3 or 4 weeks, as the case may be?
Thank you very much. This is a very important question you have just asked. I can assure you that even the law has a loophole, and the loophole, in my own view, is the time it takes to solve a case. And this time is what all these miscreants and supporters of these miscreants have taken advantage of. And because of the duration of this state and how they can then find themselves not guilty of crime, is what has put us in this position for us to keep accumulating bandits and miscreants and putting them in cells and feeding them and spending government money to take care of them. This is a no-no. This is a no-no. His Excellency is taking strategic steps to handle strategic measures in very perilous times. We have more crimes than we ever did in the world. In Canada yesterday, there was a shooting, an uncalled for shooting at a mall in a whole Canada that we know that is a very quiet and peaceful country. So the world is going crazy. The world is increasing in crime rates at a rapid succession. But how can we handle this? We can only handle this with change of policies and change of ideas on how to deal with this. By the time they start these proceedings that take 2 to 3 weeks, and you know your fate will be gotten in under a month, let me ask you, will you want to commit a crime? Would you want to commit a crime when it takes some people 1 month to 2 months to even get a lawyer for themselves? Would you want to be involved in any crime? And for the innocent people that will be packed up and taken, of course, the security agencies don't just throw people behind bars. Investigations are carried out. Like the vegetable markets that we talked about, he has been caught. His other brothers and sisters have been caught. The people that are involved have been caught. If there's a trail, there is always a trail at every crime. There is always a trail at every crime. No innocent person is going to be taken to this road and
Okay, Alex. All right, we're pressed for time because we heard the governor says they'll be paraded at the city center before probably execution if they are found guilty. Emphasis on if they are found guilty. But quickly, in the last 1 minute before we go, we're pressed for time. What would be your advice to the citizens of the state, residents, especially the youths? Because I've never seen an old man of 80 years involved in crime. If at all, they are minimal. It is the youths, your age, my age, that are involved in crime. What would be your advice before I let you go? In 1 minute.
My advice to the youth of Edo State is to see something and say something so that Edo can keep being peaceful for your daily jobs and your daily happiness. There's peace everywhere in the world. Why would there be peace in Edo?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alex Uriesi. We're pressed for time. We always have time to have conversations like this as time unfolds, as we begin to watch what happens accordingly. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, we've been speaking with the Senior Special Assistant to the Edo State Government on Special Duty, Alex Uriesi, who has been talking to us about the See Something, Say Something. It's been TMI, and we're going to be handing you over to our Abuja studio for the continuation of the program. Stay with us. All right, Tolulokbe, I can see you. How are you doing? How's Abuja?
Yeah, it's cool. The weather is clement right there, except the little difficult right there.
No problem.
What we're taking from here is, so listening to some of the things you discussed, especially about the importance of seeing something and saying something, is very, very pertinent right now, especially putting into consideration what is happening across the length and breadth of this country. Also with me in Abuja studio is Nemeka right there, joining me to take a look at issues concerning the outcome of the Ekiti election. It's a pleasure to have you with me this morning.
Thank you so much, Tolu. It's a privilege and an honor to be here this morning on TMI.
Okay. You want to say something that is very important going about in the discussion with the case about the importance of seeing something and is put into consideration the current security situation in the country, and I think that is very, very important.
Very, very critical indeed. The insecurity at this point in time, it has been there, Unfortunately, it has one level to the other, so it's getting worse by the day. It's important to open your eye, be sure of who and who is within you, and just be mindful of your environment.
ITV, certainly the best.
The land of Onwa is inhabited by the people with common ancestry, language, religion, economic and socio-political ties. However, irrespective of their subtitle differences in language and culture, they share common traditions. The people are known for their hospitality. Onwa traced their origin to Benin Kingdom. As a result, for a man to find a comfortable place for living, the name Onwa was derived from the largest and longest river in the area, which is known as Onwian or Onwa. It means one who makes merry in affluence.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
7 days, there comes the Uge Mobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Mobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about...
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
matters.
women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Onwa is rich in culture and traditions. The people are a mixture of traditional worshippers, Muslims and Christians. Onwa is located at the northern part of Edo State. It consists of 2 local government areas, that is Onwa West and Onwa East. It has a total number of 13 clans and 21 political wards, according to National Population Commission 2006 census. The population of Onwa people is put together at 251,686. The people love tradition and culture.
Thanks for rejoining on TMI this beautiful morning. I am Reselina Unkwo, and welcome to our Lagos Network studio. Also, I have Dr. Victor Ohai here with me. We'll be doing this together. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
You're looking like Christmas in June.
Interesting. Thank you so much. All right, our guest this morning is Barrister Atta Adams. He's a legal practitioner and also a multi-skilled professional. Hello, Barrister Atta, good morning.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having me this lovely morning.
Thank you so much for coming. Today marks 40 days since the Oyo School children adoption and the children and the teacher adoptions. As the Senate gathers for an emergency section today on insecurity, emergency plenary section today to talk on the insecurity, the nation will be watching closely, not just for words of concerns, but for concrete actions that can restore confidence in Nigerians' ability to protect its citizens. The question remains, how many times or how many more days or how many more victims before a lasting solution emerge? And also, military troops and other security operatives have tightened surveillance around the forest area where the victims are believed to be held, significantly limiting the movement of these kidnappers. And this, we've been thinking, will this help? And also, like I said earlier, today marks the 40 that this children, the teacher, they left their families and they're in captivity. I mean, it's really sad. We'll keep talking about insecurity till the right thing is done. So could this be a welcome development, the fact that troops and security personnel have tightened surveillance around the forest and making it difficult for these bandits or kidnappers to escape? And it's looking like those children and teachers will be rescued soon. I mean, that is what we've been praying for, and that is what we've been hoping for. So before I move to Barrister Atta, Dr. Victor, let's get to hear you.
This reminds me of the Chibok girls. There was a countdown. It's sad. The thing is, sometimes we just pick and choose what we want to focus on. At the same time, what happened in Oyo happened. In Borno, there was another incident as well, and there have been many since then. And while it is okay to focus on Oyo, I understand that, and particularly because children involved, is very pathetic. And where we saw the teacher, revered teachers obviously, where a head was chopped off gruesomely. I think that this is something that we should, government, we have been so desensitized. Death doesn't mean anything to us anymore, and it's something that we should take very seriously. But I like the countdown. It puts pressure on government so that they do not sleep on their horse. I like the fact that the Senate is also taking this seriously, because the public won't let it go off their radar. And I like the fact also that the troops have surrounded him. I'm wondering where the Air Force is. I'm wondering where the use of technology like drones come to play. And I'm hoping that at the end of the day, we're not going to suffer collateral damage. Because, when you corner an animal out of desperation, it will do anything to survive. Okay? I'm hoping that that's not the case at the end of the day. But we'll continue to pray and hope for the best.
All right, Barrister Atta Adams, let's get to hear your take. I mean, today marks day 40 since those children and teachers are in captivities. And also the Senate, they're having an emergency plenary session today, to talk about it, to talk on insecurity. Would that help?
Well, let me start by saying that the Senate, they themselves, they are not serious. And they have played it over the years. We are tired of sitting and sitting and sitting. What Nigerians want is results. Don't you want results? I want results. We are tired of this mess. Life and property protection is a primary responsibility of the government. That is the purpose and the essence of the social contract theory. You pay tax, and then in reciprocal, the government will protect you and I and your properties. So assuming now that everybody is being kidnapped, who is now the government going to govern? So because the government is feeding fat, I don't hide it. I've been saying it and I will continue to say it, and I'm saying it again. The government is feeding fat because usually the Senate will sit and approve the humongous amount of money for them as their security votes. And they will not use it judiciously and adopt it in such a way that it will protect you and I. So let me, having said that, I want to say that the 40 today is so disheartening and so otherwise that some people are out there inside the cold. You can imagine, you and I that we are indoor, you see how the cold is eating deep into your skin and everything. How much of people are outside for 40 days, and these people, they are sorting them, and then they are hurting them on a daily basis. They are not properly fed and everything. So the government should do something. Otherwise, it should step down. Mr. President should step down. I don't hide my chemistry for failure.
Talking about, sorry, Dr. Victor, pardon. Talking about stepping down, we saw that the UK Prime Minister just resigned, and Peter Obi has been telling the President, oh, you need to resign. I mean, he cited food insecurity, the adoption insecurity in the country, asking him to step down. And we saw where, they replied Peter Obi back to saying that is childish. Let's get to hear it.
You see that those people who will reply, Mr. Peter Obi, you see they are the architects and part and parcel of what we are facing. They are busybodies and case contractors. They are just being fed from Aso Rock. That's why you see them that they will come out and counter any opposition instantly, even without the authority of Mr. President. They have been doing it, and it's bad. You see where the system is working. Look at the United Kingdom, UK, where the system is working. Merely 5 years now, or 6 years thereabout, we have seen series of the prime ministers. Once they are grossly incompetent, once they fail, they step down instantly. But the reverse is the case. This is a country that somebody wants to die when they are in power. How will you describe that? They will rather refuse to step down and then prefer to die with the power. We saw in the case of Yar'Adua and others. So for me, I literally feel that we are not serious in this part of the world. Africa, we are 0/100. Particularly this country that our politicians are taking us for granted. And more important, if you ask me to rate this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu government, I will rate it 0/10. I will rate it 0/10. And this is because life and property under this government is a failure. Where there is no life and property, if you can't protect life and property, who are you going to govern at the end of the day? That is the primary hallmark. That is the basic difference between democracy and then the military dictatorship. I will say it openly. So let him step down.
Okay, so I might revisit that again, but there's an aspect I want to talk about here. Children of the 40 days in captivity. And I'm looking at Monday, Igbo. He went into a forest, I saw the video, saw the Fulanis, and gave them 2 hours to release the people that they held in captivity. Not these teachers, that's a different case. Within 2 hours, the people responded and released these people. What does that say about? Does it mean that, is it that government, is it that Igbo is bigger and stronger than government? Is it better equipped than government? Or is it a matter of lack of political will to stop this banditry, this terrorism, and this kidnapping?
Let me start by acknowledging the statement of late Sani Abacha. He said once an insurgency exceeds 24 hours, it therefore presupposes that the government is aware of it. That's what we are clearly seeing now. You agree with me? Because from what you just said now, Sunday himself went to the bush and then he gave the Fulanis notice. And then within 2 hours, instantly, they were released. How will you describe that? Is it that, like you said, is it that it's more powerful than the government, than the sitting government?
You tell me.
That's the question that the burden is on the government to one side. As I'm speaking to you now, the government should just, the governor of your states, like I said, is grossly incompetent.
He's not in charge of security forces.
No, he is a chief security officer of that state.
And you don't think that Igboho acted under his own? That was a private arrangement, not away from the federal.
He is even, why not allow
Who empowered Igboho?
Why not allow Igboho to oversee the Amotekus within the state? Amoteku is an establishment of the state. You empower somebody who has the power.
But you know, it's not constitutional yet.
But whether it need not to be constitutional, the law allows a state governor to establish their own security outfits. It's just that it's not, you don't brand it as a state police. Just like how we have the neighborhood watch in Lagos State, we have Amoteku for about 5 states in the West. And it's recognized in law. If Igboho can give you results, why are you waiting until you are disgraced out of power? And he said you want to contest for president under PDP. How will you decide that?
The governor, sorry, just me. The governor is not the one we're focusing on right now, although, yes, exactly everybody, so there's no exception. But I still want to look at this. We're looking at 40 days in captivity. Before this government came into power, or APC, during the administration of, what's it called?
Muhammadu Buhari.
No, Jonathan. I said before APC came into power.
Right.
It seemed like he was grossly incompetent because of the Chibok girls. You talk about Abacha, say if within 24 hours of any form of insurgency or whatever, that I don't know how you put it, that the government
therefore presupposes that the government is aware of it.
But it's being aware, because even the citizens are aware.
And then involved.
Okay, it's involved.
Yes.
Can you expatiate on that?
Well, from what we are saying now, you can see that, for example, now what happened this week or thereabouts, last week in your state. Igboho Sunday, or what's named thereabouts, he went under the instruction of the governor. He went there, gave notice, and then we got results. What happened to the governor activating his power before now? What happened? It therefore presupposes that he is aware, and then he failed to act. The issue we are having in this part of the world is acting at the right time. That is why we are caught up in this mess.
You don't think we have caused a clash between him and the federal forces? Because ideally, the Nigerian police, under the Inspector General and by implication the President and Commander-in-Chief, should do this. You don't take, it's not an initiative that you just immediately send civilians into the forest to go and confront terrorists. This was a last minute.
There is something we need to get here. Protection of life and property is the primary responsibility of everybody. It is your right when you see that an offense is about to be committed, or is being committed, or it had even been committed, and those people have left. If you have the opportunity to empower the state government and the federal government, it is your right. You and I, everybody can protect life and properties. It's not just a matter of federal government. And as it is now, it's not just narrowed down to the federal government. It is you and I, state government, even the local government, chairman. So it's a collective responsibility. It's not one-way traffic.
Yeah.
All right, you mentioned state government. Let's talk about the state policing. I mean, we've been talking about state policing, and it's also going to be part of conversations the Senate will be having today at the emergency plenary section. So let's talk about state policing. What do you think at this point? Don't you think it's needed? I mean, we've been talking about it and keep talking about it. What is your take?
Well, at this point, since the state police they want to get results, give it to them. Yes, because they have been glamoring, this government have been saying state police, this and that and everything. As far as they are not going to brand it and then make it so political, thereabout that they will use it to witch hunt their opponent. I don't trust this part of the road. It's not all about branding it as state police. It's all about by the name. I don't submit to that. But what I submit and I support is all about you empowering what you have. The current police we have right now, the police force now we have right now, how effective are they being managed? How effective are they being sponsored? How effective is the government bankrolling them in all aspects? You go to all the police outfits, you see how abandoned and dilapidated they are. You go to the same police station, a particular unit, you see that the DPO is using a particular generator, and then another office is using another pass my name. There is no unity among the system. You go to their barracks to see how abandoned the barracks are. They are not properly funded. There is no proper retirement package for the Nigerian police force. Some of them are retired. We saw them recently where they came out to protest about their pension. These are people who serve the system, who risk their life and properties for you and I. And then after their retirement, you don't even have a proper package for them after deducting money from their salary monthly. Where are you keeping those money? Where are they keeping? Because I literally do not agree with this idea of pension and gratuity and everything. People will retire to pay them their money that you have been deducting for years. You say the money is not there.
Okay, let me circle back to this state police. I'm just wondering, and I just want us to, for a moment, imagine, you talked about Sunday Igboho right now. Why didn't the governor? When you talk about state police, qualifications were coming. Write an application. They are given rank based on qualification, maybe experience, maybe some retired persons from the police force and all that. What role will Sunday Igboho have in the state police, considering that we are a people who people are proved most competent in this thing. In Borno State, I don't know if you recall that lady who was leading people against Boko Haram. I don't know if you remember, so maybe not. This woman was leading the charge in Borno, very competent. She's not educated, but she's a hunter. And she was terrorizing the terrorists. We saw Gani Adams, who later, touched up himself a bit at this, Now, Sunday Igboho, you cannot touch him and ask him for a degree. I don't know his background, but I'm assuming, from what I have seen, I may be wrong. So, you will still get the same people whose qualification for doing that job will be degrees and certificates. What role will they? How will people like a Sunday Igboho be accommodated in the new scheme of things? Because it is important that we look at competence rather than just certification. Isn't it about time? How can we accommodate them and give them the right badge and honor, and position, authority to be able to do this job?
You see, that's the point. So the government will need to fashion out and then map out a special package for them with field marshal, people that will go to the field.
I like that word, field marshal.
Yes, and then get you results. It's not by certificate. We have seen it in all aspects. Let me give you a practical example. When I was called to bar as a lawyer, when I was working my first year as a lawyer, and then I got employed in law firm, I met a guy, his name is Koras out thereabouts. He's not a lawyer by profession, but he was teaching me some practical. He has worked in that firm for 11 years. And then he was giving me the practical insights. How did he acquire this experience? Over time, he will tell you, do it like this. Shaman will want you to do it like this. Do it like this. Okay. Arrange it this. So experience matters. It's not by certification. Certification will take a longer time because what we are being taught currently in the education system is a little bit different from what is obtainable in reality. But however, like you said, let me narrow down to the case of Sunday Igboho now. They have to fashion out a system that will accommodate in a special.
I'm not sure they're thinking about it.
Yeah, we think about it because it's I cannot preempt their decision because they know. Let us not preempt the certification of Sunday himself, because the minimum requirement, let me tell you, to even be a president of this federation is what? O-level. So how much of a security outfit that you need a result? What matters is result. Are you able to give me results? Most of those guys you see in the then SARS and all those things, they are not educated. So what you need to do is to incorporate these people and then you train them. Oh, when you go like this, you don't just kill people when you arrest them.
So we have to put them in a position where they can lead the charge.
They will have, definitely. The government wants results. You can see what's going on currently in the federation. So for me, I think that the government will factor that in. But my fear and my major concern is that I hope the state police will not be branded as a political tools to witch hunt
we all have that fear.
So do you think this insecurity is being politically motivated? I mean, some persons are saying they're politicizing this whole insecurity stuff.
The people are, it's not just enough for people to come out and say rubbish or garbage in and garbage out. Move above that. God forbid for me to be caught in that web where people will say this and that. They have been saying it. Where is the evidence? They said it during the time of Jonathan and everything. They said it during the time of Buhari and others. And then they are now saying it again. I don't believe that statement. If you say that politicians are behind it, so some oppositions are sponsoring it, this and that and everything, come out and then arrest them. Mr. President will not want to sit back and then allow his government to be crippled by the opposition. He will not. If you are the one, will you allow them to spoil your government for you?
I mean, we saw a video a few months back where the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, said that this all insecurity stuff, they are trying to use it to tarnish the president's image, that we should watch and see that after elections that the all insecurity stuff, would go down and all of that. And some persons are saying, oh, you know that, this whole thing. So they're actually politicizing the whole thing that, okay, some persons have an hand in this to tarnish the image of the president and all of that.
You see, that's what they often come out to say. I'm not surprised, particularly the Senate President who is distracted with social media comments up and down. I would not want to comment further about it because it's a total failure. It's a disgrace because, let me not go into that. Are you aware of the recent allegation about the forgery of the signature of some senators against the impeachment of, what is it called, or in favor of the impeachment of
Natasha
and everything. And you can see the banter between the Senate President and Adam Soshomole. That's so embarrassing. I don't want to dive into that.
Okay, still on the Senate. Usually we say what goes around comes around. General Rabe, may so rest in peace. He was a spokesman for the military. But as I say, the internet never forgets. I listened to a speech he was making, trying desperately in vain to defend the government and saying that playing down the issue of terrorists and all that and talking about them being disciplined. Unfortunately, it came back to swallow him. Again, I say, may his soul rest in peace. We have legislators who are detached from the people. Many of them don't even visit their villages. Many of them have not been there for a long time. I can quote quite a few. This gentleman from Borno State, what's his name? One of the oldest serving senators. He was talking about it on another station. And quite a number of them. Today, they're going to be sitting and they'll be taking a decision. How can we as citizens hold not just the executive, but even our legislators, because they are the ones who are our voices there, who, if your village if things are not happening, they can bring it up in the sense that something is happening in my place. How can we truly hold them accountable? And I mean the word truly underlined, hold them accountable in a way that beyond saying waiting for 4 years to vote, to make sure that they truly, truly represent us. And not only when things are like this or when they are being embarrassed and they say, okay, they are going to, like this one call for hold a plenary for something that they should have done a long time ago. Instead, they are spending time doing your mandate. We shall stand.
One is when they came back to their constituency, you beat them. That's what happened in the
you beat them.
Yes, you have to go after them. That's what happened. Yes, we have to be practical and have the system. We have to be working. Okay. Yes, you go after them, you shout at them, you also assault them, but let them know that they are not failure.
Yes.
You send them back. Let them go back to their FCT. See, they are not bringing results.
So boo them.
Yes, nobody celebrates failure all over the world. I don't celebrate failure.
Yes.
And I know that you don't celebrate failure.
Yes.
So what is the purpose of keeping somebody who is a liability?
But the people are being impoverished too. They are. If it's like a dog that wants to bite you, you throw a bone at it, it will keep quiet. And you know they say it's bad manners to talk while chopping.
So that is one. That's one option. Option two, you have to go tough and rugged. Okay. And then option two is the law allows you to recall them. The process of recalling.
It's not possible.
The law is that
an impractical way.
Yes, I have to say that it's in line with the Constitution. But doing it practically now is now the issue. So you can go through the route of recalling them. And then number three, use a social media crusade. Use a social media crusade. If there is anything now that our politicians are afraid of, it's a social media crusade. You use that as an instrument. You sponsor it against them. I've seen some roads in my states that people start pushing on social media. Come and do this and that. Is your constituency. What happened to our constituency allowances? And then they sponsored others, backroll others, and push it, tag him before you know in 2 more time.
Let me say something that is very interesting that is happening right now in Edo. I come from a place called Fuga, capital of Esako Central. And right now, all the elders are now pushing, they're looking at federal allocation, they're saying it has improved and all that, but they're not seeing it on ground. And they have decided, both the union, everybody now, that local government chairman must be accountable. I'm talking about what people are doing now. They're saying every month you must give us an account of the inflows, the outflows. Let us not as being earmarked, we want to earmark. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. They want to see exactly where that money, the last one was about 500 and something million. Where did that money enter? We cannot see it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
And I'm thinking perhaps if other communities begin to demand this, starting from the local government, if they begin to do this, maybe we can begin to see results. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yes, you know that the local governments chairman, they are employees of the government. You agree with me that they are just there as the eyes and the duff of the sitting government. And that's why you see in some states now, even though by the recent Supreme Court decision, they are supposed to pay them their, what is it called?
But it's not.
But it will not go through to the state account directly. Some state governors have manipulated the system in such a way that once it's being paid, they'll deduct theirs, and then before they send the peanut to the local government. So it's not one-way traffic, and you are seated somewhere there. You now want to go and oversee what the governor has benefited from. Who are you?
We have to suffer.
That is how manipulative the system is. The system is building, so even the democracy we say we are practicing is rubbish. It's not a pure democracy.
So we don't practice democracy in Nigeria.
We claim to be practicing democracy, but the abuse.
But the demons have gone crazy.
The abuse is another strange system of government. I think it needs to be branded in another separate way, because it's not, you can't brand it. Apart from the fact that the military and the business of infringing people's fundamental rights, I think the military have done well, more exceedingly than what we are seeing under this democracy.
So, Barrister Atta, what you mean now is the federal government is not to be blamed alone. We need to blame the state governments, the local governments, and all.
Not even the three arms, not even the local governments, the governor alone, not the president. We need to equally blame you and I. Everybody is a collective responsibility.
Everybody needs to blame at this
because
point.
Even in my own constituency, you need to see the extent of the corruption there. You want to do something, the system is branded for people to file a process online, and then you see the people who oversee the system, they will frustrate the system in such a way that you need to come and bribe them before you can penetrate the portal. How will you blame the president for that rubbish?
But at the same time, you see, I saw a video on the internet. A girl came out, you know, she was showing money that she collected before voting for a particular party. I'm not going to mention.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and at the same time,
I think she said 15.
50, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, somebody mentioned something and said that some persons, okay, they would come out. Why don't you, even though you're collecting this money, according to the press, if you're collecting this money, still go and vote your conscience. Like you're collecting.
There is no way you can vote for your conscience. These people are monitoring you. You can see the tag in her hand. This thing happened. I belong to.
So if you collect the money, they monitor you.
Where we did the election last 2 years, a professional association.
And yet,
let me tell you how those people came. They came in the form of camp, like a group. All their candidates, they wrote the name, and then there's a particular tag. With a tag or something, they wrote all the names of their candidates, and as people are coming to vote, they will give them the name. So by the time you go in there, you have a list of the people, comprehensive list of the people you will come out to vote for. Okay. So this fraud, this electoral fraud, is not just narrowed down to our politicians alone. It's all over. Even in your house, there's politics.
There is hunger in the land. You won't blame those people at some point. Okay, I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I mean, I saw on the papers this morning where it says federal government moves tightening cashless policy to curb and kidnappings. Do you think it will help? I mean, cashless policy that will help curb insecurity, the kidnapping, and all of that.
Well, as it is now, the government is confused. Even if it means to convert a man to a woman for them to get results, they will want to do it. But it's still, they are not showcasing their strength enough. The last time we saw how the Americans, they say they are here to help us, and people were praying, shouting up and down and everything. I don't know the whereabouts of those Americans as we are speaking right now. We need them. We need their technology. The solution is simple. There is no hide and seek. There is no two-way traffic about it. All the money that is being budgeted or assigned for this, what is it called? Security, votes, and everything. Where is the money going to? We need more technology in the system. We need to empower our people with more weapons. We need technology in the system. Technology, you will sit down here. Look at what happened in Iran. You know how the Americans were able to assess the technology of the Iran or something thereabout before they were able to kill their president. It's done from somewhere in America. So what is happening to us? We are not ready to embrace technology. You see, they send people to go there and then they ensure that the whole place is covered. Something you can do from your bedroom when you have technology. You will take a holistic review and then map of where these people are. You will see them live. I don't know whether they are doing that. I don't know why they are serious about embracing technology. God forbid for us to be operating analog in this 21st century. I'm not part of them.
Okay. So I want to revisit the issue of resign now. We saw Keir Starmer, and we saw his own Peter Obi, our own Kemi Badenoch. She was the shadow prime minister and kept on hammering and hammering and hammering. The man earlier in the year said, I'm not resigning. But she kept on piling pressure. Finally, the man has succumbed and he has resigned. Here, Peter Obi is doing the same, and some people are telling him he's being childish or silly. What does it take? Have we lost our sense of shame? The Japanese have what is called harakiri, where you commit self-immolation. I want to pick my language so that I don't, because we're on television. The new language is I say unalive yourself, so to say, out of shame, a sense of shame. Okay? Where in the old Oyo Empire, when a king does not do well, they will serve the egg of a parrot in a calabash and serve to him. The minute he opens it and sees it, he knows it's the end, and he will just end it all. because there was a sense of shame.
Hmm.
According to the Omoluabi ethos, say, remember whose son you are, or don't disgrace our family. Do you understand what I'm saying? What that simply means is, when you go there, everything you do must be upright. I don't know whether there's something that happens to our politicians when they get into power. Now, you sit there, people are dying every day. People are hungry and begging for food. As you are now, I'm sure, even if you feel you are comfortable enough, the request you get alone will remind you that all may not be well. I'm not necessarily talking about the president, but what does it take, or what will it take for us for us to resign, for a Nigerian politician or leader to say, I have failed my people, let me resign? Where did we lose it? And what will it take for us to get to that point where we know that, no, I can't anymore, I have failed my people?
Well, it takes a God-fearing person to say, I want to resign because I'm grossly incompetent in this part of the world. It's only the man that God have a God-fearing mindset that will submit to that request. Step down, step down. They are not disturbed. They are possibly sleeping somewhere in Aso Rock. They are not disturbed at all, because the system is built in such a way that after God and his cabinets, the next person on earth in this part of the world is a president. He can do and undo. He can even disobey the court order. He can manipulate the system in such a way that it will favor him. He can obtain any court order at any time. He can speak to the Senate president to do this and do that and do that, and then instantly they get result. So as it is right now, Mr. President has been asked to resign. We are watching. And history is about to be made. I'm very optimistic that he's listening. Yes, I'm very optimistic that he's going to be.
Excuse me for laughing in vernacular.
To the request, because let us be optimistic. We have requested. You may be thinking about it. Yes, you are laughing, but that's the reality. I'm very optimistic.
But is resignation a solution?
Yes, let him step down first.
That's the solution?
It is a very solid solution. If you hire an employee now,
what about the person that takes over?
And that employee, God may give us another person. If you're not doing well, we request that you step down. We need to start from somewhere.
Okay.
And I love the fact that he's on notice now. Okay. He's on notice. The law allows him to resign on health ground, on the grossly incompetent. So let him step down. If he step down, people are available. I am available. You are available. He's available. Any other person can take it.
But
no, on a serious note.
The answer is sounding as if it's not Nigerian.
No,
not Nigerian.
Whether Nigerians or not, will he dispute the fact that God can make him to step down?
But do you know what the problem is?
Stepping down is not an issue.
Let me tell you about the problem, but maybe you can address it for us. Let us look at Paul Biya of Cameroon. He's been propped. You think the man wants to remain president? I doubt it.
And I'm very sure very soon he will hand the power to his son.
No, his son is now defense minister and the head of the armed forces.
Yes.
So, but that's not the issue. The problem we usually have is the people around power. You mentioned Yar'Adua fittingly, but you remember?
Yes.
When he was sick, he should have, given up and all that. Even the wife, everybody was. Because the truth is that, I use Paul Biya as an example. As a leader, all the people in government depend on him to remain in government.
Yes.
The day he goes, that a new camp will emerge. Even your deputy will have his own camp. So all those who are with you will go. So it's a problem, not the people around. You think, like you said, he may be willing. If he don't tire him and he wants to leave. But all those who are benefiting now, do you think they want him to leave?
They will not want it. They will not want him to leave because the thing is a collective.
So maybe it's not the problem with it.
That's the point I'm making, and you can see it clearly from the statement of the former governor of this minister of the one that is doing what is it called Is it Umahi? What's his name?
Umahi, yes.
Yes.
Mr. Works.
Yes.
Okay.
You saw what you listen to his recent statements.
Remind me, please.
That he said that contractors, you better ensure that you vote for or you campaign for Tinubu. Otherwise, we are going to withdraw what? Your license thereabouts or something. You will call that this thing. So you see how it is. He's now giving. Was
that a threat or?
He's now making it a commission precedent now for them to end their living or something thereabouts or practice their profession. And these people are working. It's a contract. The contract is not political. So, but before you get contract from the government now, you must be part and parcel of their party. You must have a membership card. You must belong to their party. You must colleague with them.
Whether you're competent or not.
Made of the same feather now.
Flock together.
Yes. So you see how it is, how bad the system is. You must eat and dine with them in the same way for you to benefit from their proceeds. They are part of what we are facing right now. The politicians that you see them recycling around the president, you see them recycling around the sitting governors and even at the local level.
But on a serious note, on another note rather, this government cannot be all bad. If you think about it, isn't there any good thing that you can
Once
see?
you cannot protect life and property, that's the number one
Which
thing.
is a basic necessity.
Once you cannot protect life and property, let me highlight this now. The failure of this government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One, you can see the inflation on a daily basis. You agree with me that they have failed in that capacity. The inflation rate is growing up.
Is it global? Is it not global?
Whether it's global or not, it is the duty. Who is now going to do something that will affect your own positively? Is the president, who is the number one person. So the burden is still on him.
Okay.
There is God, there is heaven. If you want something good, will you not run to God? So that's the same way you request from your president. That's number one, they have failed as to inflation. Then number two, look at life and property, which is even supposed to be the number one. Life and properties. Because if you cannot protect life and properties, who are you now going to govern? Nobody. It's just like the world is a dead zone for you. And then number three, there is no even employment opportunity for people. You agree with me?
No, but the government is claiming that they are creating about 3 million jobs.
The government will always say that.
And
the government will always use the social media campaign.
Are you telling me you don't know anybody who has benefited from all these schemes?
Well, I don't know. It's only the people who are their co-travelers.
Their housing, even their housing, mortgage housing and all that.
Let me tell you
have
something about
the
mortgage, the building scheme or the package thereabout. The buildings are well designed in such a way that they are assigning to their party members. Is that what the constitution envisage? That's not what the constitution envisage. You are not there to govern people of your political party. You are there.
So if you want to benefit, you go and collect a party card now, don't you think?
I don't need to belong to their political party before I benefit. Let us speak what the constitution envisages.
We've heard this thing countless times, and later you see them defecting. Amen.
So you see, that's how bad the system is. They are failed in agriculture. They are failed in...
No, they are bringing about 10,000 tractors.
Have you seen them?
I'm not a farmer.
Forget about the social media campaign that you see. Forget about what you see on the daily newspapers and everything.
No, I'm not telling you about agriculture.
In reality, can you see them? Can you feel the effects?
So what you're saying in essence is this thing that just been spoke about or written in papers, but they are not being implemented.
Yes, there was some money. Government will come out and just mention a very big amount of money, and then we don't see the effects.
Let's look at this in the legal perception, Barrister Atta. Can affected families at this moment take legal action against any government institution for alleged negligence in protecting the victims?
Yes, it is their right to take up what is it called? But at this moment, everybody needs to trade with wisdom, because we are seeing that the government is equally, even though the government is bad, but the government to an extent, even though they are not being effective, we saw what happened recently in the same Oyo State, where the sister of, what is it called, of the former Minister of Power,
Adelabu.
Thereabouts. And then instantly, within 3 days, the government came out, or 4 days, massive, and then they got results. Why not use the same energy for these ordinary people?
I mean, troops and some security personnel.
If you can get results for a politician instantly, what happened to others? Are we not of the same citizen? Are those people not paying tax? Under international law, I don't even know why the international community is still silent about this. I don't know. We don't have the proper NGOs that will push this, because the people who are involved here, they are little children.
I mean, don't you think there's already a welcoming development? The fact that troops, they've surrounding
the environment is not enough. We have heard about this. We have seen this. What happened in, what is it called, one of the states, the Chibok girls and everything. Up to date, some of them are still in detention.
I know that.
Up to date, are you aware? More than how many years? More than 8 years now. I think it happened during Jonathan, thereabouts. It's more than 10 years, more than a decade now, thereabouts. The Chibok girl story happened during Jonathan.
Yeah.
Abuari came, he spent 8 years. And then this one now,
spent 3 years, going to 4.
Thereabout, even Yar'Adua and everything. So the point is that, how long are we going to continue in this mess? How long? That is the question. And this man is not ready to resign. Resign so that we can review the system. We want to review the system. Freedom is not given voluntarily. You must ask for it, you must request for it, and in the
you must snatch it, you must.
The best way for, well, I'm not using the word snatch it. And the best way for you to exhibit and get that power is to use the social media, and then is to come out massively to vote against these people come 2027.
Okay, Dr. Victor.
Yeah, okay. So it's easy to, I mean, it's easy to put Shore, a presidential candidate, under detention, and yet criminals are going all over the place.
Even on social media.
Yes. And then somebody was recently, I don't know if it's the same day or not sure, I think somebody else saying because he was abusing the president, they also locked him up. And yet criminals are getting away. They are calling them our brothers and all that. What would you say about Shore? I talk about NGOs and all that. Shore is like a conscience, a voice of the people. What would you say about his present predicament?
Well, let me start by saying that you can make your points without cyber stalking someone. Okay. Yes, you can make your points. It's allowed. Look at this man. What is he called? Even though he's not perfect, a very dark man. Or what?
Yes.
He came. The government threatened to arrest him at a point recently, and then outside the country, he made a statement, and immediately he came to the country. He has led about 3 or 4 protests. He was recently in Oyo State. About 3 or 4 places in FCT thereabout, and some other states in the Federation. You see, you can, at a point when the military or the police thereabout wanted to assault him, he has to control the crowd and everything. So the point is clear. You must not exhibit rascality before you make your points. You must. And then you must not insult, particularly this new cyber crime law now. You must not insult people before you make your points. To raise statements against Mr. President is a thief, is this and that. Using the social media to push that kind of message and everything. There are ways you can convey your position, your stand. It's not done. If you do that to me, I will pick you up. You need to come. Why are you insulting me on the social media? How much of you, Mr. President? He deserves a simple respect. You can make your points. For example, now Peter Obi is making his points. He said they will steal the money. They will steal the money. They will steal the money. They are thieves. They are this, they are that.
But you didn't mention
any name.
Okay.
So you must be diplomatic on how you talk. Even as he was going to, what is it called? To the prison yesterday, thereabout. He was, what's his name? Shore. He said he was still making some statements, and these statements are on air. Look at what is happening to, what is it called? El-Rufai now. He came on air, and then he was just talking. Government is wiretapping. Government is intercepting. I recently tapped into, we don't know how how strong that statement is. You see, he recently tapped into the, what is it called, Ribadus and something there about telephone conversation or security there about. So you see in this country that we're having a insecurity situation, you come on air and talk anyhow. You need to be careful. In as much as I don't support the incessant abuse of the judicial system against Sowore, but however, he himself also needs to be careful. And then as for the other politicians outside, the law will catch up with them very soon.
But what about the bandits and the terrorists or kidnappers whose faces we see every day, whose social media handles where they post these things are seen and known, and then some of their supporters and backers who are talking on social media every day? Why is government not that proactive against it?
So let me add to what he said. There's this particular bandit, Tunji, where he says that, oh, if you're ready, if the government is ready for peace, we'll give them peace. If they're ready for war, we'll give them war. I mean, this book come out on social media, on the internet, flaunts this money, flaunts where they are, terrorizing those people, where they are maltreating them, where they are beating them. All of this still happen on social media.
Well, you can see that, as for sure, let me start from him.
Okay.
The government, in their own sense, is being prosecuted, the matter is in court. So I literally do not agree with this playing to the gallery or social media. The law is that once the matter is pending in court, both parties must maintain status quo. You don't go on air over a statement that you are being prosecuted. After the court sitting, you go on air, you go and be reporting what happened in the court on air and everything. It's wrong. Once the matter is in court, you don't go on there and be making utterances in respect of the matter that is pending in court. So he himself is even putting himself in trouble.
Is it the spirit of Fela all over again?
I don't know.
Or how can you differentiate between Fela's method and Sowore's method?
Fela is different from all of them. Yeah. They are just trying to play like Fela and what is it called? Late Shivgani Fawemi.
Yes,
For example, now he went to the court yesterday before he was sent to the prison. He came with his bag. That
it was with his bag.
They are just working on the templates. All of them. They are working on the templates. All of them. They just want to be like Fela and late Shivgani, because late Shivgani, he has a special cell uniform and then his bag, his towel and everything.
With his drugs?
Yes, everything. So this guy wants to replicate it, but funny enough, he is trying his best. What is it called, Sowore? Because he has been in the system for more than 20 years. He has been into activities right from his university days to more than 20 years. And then he left his family outside the country. I don't know. He left his family outside the country to come and fight for revolution and everything. But you must be diplomatic.
But do you think we'll get that revolution?
I don't know, because the word revolution to our government is something they don't want to hear. By the time they hear that word, they will brand it somehow. They see that there is a threat to the government. I don't want them to brand me otherwise. When we are ready for what we want as a nation, we will grab it. Nigerians will come out massively and grab it.
What do we need as a nation?
We need a fair system that can accommodate justice. We need a fair system that is fair to you and I and every other person. We need restructuring.
Okay.
We need rebranding. We need to start all over again. We need to arrest our politicians and lock them somewhere, like what is done in one of the countries in Asia. There.
Okay, I'm not talking about locking politicians, but let me pin you down the restructuring. What kind of restructuring does Nigeria need, and how will that restructuring help to correct the current anomalies in the system?
Well, we need to give people their sense of belonging. Like the Niger Delta, we need to give them their sense of belonging. Like every other part of the federation, we need to rebrand and amend our constitution. Constitution needs to be amended.
What aspects?
For example, the definition of who is a citizen, up to date. There are debates as to that. And then number two, we equally need to work on this federal character.
Is it citizen or indigent?
So that's what some people are clamoring. Some people are saying, okay, why not by indigent? Some people are saying this and that. So we equally need to look at the aspect of federal character system. a federal character system? What is it? How are we going to define it?
Do we still need it?
So all those things, it's fair, but the enforcement is what matters. Look at the employment for Mr. President right now. It's reflecting his own cabal in the system. It equally happened with the immediate president. You see why they keep their loyalists against competence. So we must work collectively to ensure that all these things are well taken care of. Otherwise, we continue to be caught up in this mess.
So a lot of persons have been saying, oh, you just said the president should resign. You think, I mean, the election is forthcoming. You think if the president should resign and another person takes over, all of this will end?
Well, I don't know. Some people say that the one that you are seeing now, my father said, you better grab what you are seeing now. You may not see any other thing.
Better.
You know, when the bird perches on the rope, you must be ready to dance with the rope. And you know, what an elder sat down, and he can clearly see. Even a child climb the mountain, he may not see it. Where am I heading to? You see that we can see Mr. President now. I don't know what will happen for the number 2 person who is silent, who is being alleged to be involved in 1 or 2 things. Nobody is perfect. I'm not talking about his imperfection because he has not got into that position. But when he gets there now, you see that you activate and otherwise. So it's not just Mr. President, the whole of the entire cabinet, because this government is a show game. It's between Mr. President and the FCT minister. We are aware of all this game. It's just a matter of time. By 2027, we're going to evict them from Aso Rock and then FCT.
We're going to evict them from Aso Rock.
The quick notice is
I mean, I like it's pretty sure.
Yes, I'm very optimistic. Even me now, I contest against Mr. President. I will evict him from there. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, but I didn't see that sign in the Ekiti elections.
Well, that's off-cycle election. They have enough time to rig it and to manipulate it because all their powers will be there.
So you think it was rigged and manipulated?
Yes, that election is not free and fair. You can see we saw a series of videos on air where people are saying the election is not free and fair, vote buying, and you saw the lady that
but that's not important
and everything.
I know, but the observers thought differently. They said that it was to a large extent. Yes, there was vote buying and all that, but said it was largely free and fair that the president and that the governor won fair and square.
What do you expect them to say? Do you expect them to go contrary to their principle?
The observers, I said.
The observers are
local and international.
Yes, so they are there under the instruction of INEC, and they will not want to say anything that will offend Mr. President.
They would usually say it in other times.
So that is how it is. So I'm not surprised. Those are off-cycle elections. There's enough time for them to put their resources together, put their head together. But when it's a general election that reflects the whole federation, people are coming out massive. Even the people that even Mr. President supporters, particularly in the north, don't be surprised. They will come out and vote against him.
So with all the by-elections, primaries election, do you still think the president stands a chance for 2027 election?
He does not stand any chance. He cannot even win a local government election right now.
Barrister Atta.
Because he's a failure. Nobody celebrates failure. I will say it. Because I don't support failure.
But you saw how many votes he got during the primary election.
I wouldn't say primaries.
Primary elections. Are people still came out to vote for him?
That is his consequence.
So tell me that you have already won Nigeria.
Do you know the name of the person that contested with him? Do you know the name? Is that a politician? Has he ever contested for any office? I don't even know his name.
All right, thank you so much.
So how will you brand this? How will you say that? They went to manufacture somebody who is grossly incompetent to contest against.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barrister Atta.
Thank you for having me, and it's nice having you both on this session.
All right, thank you all our viewers. Thank you, Nigeria, and thank you for joining our Lagos Network studio this beautiful morning on TMI. I am Marcelina Unkwa. Would be handing over to our Benin Network studio for the continuation on TMI. Just stay with us.
ITV, certainly the best.
In a rare display of botanical brilliance, the palm tree defied natural norms, sprouting multiple branches that bear fruits. This rare occurrence has become a wonder to many, as experts are calling it a one-in-a-million phenomenon. Could this multiple-headed marvel hold secrets to agricultural breakthroughs, or is it simply a freak accident of nature? An agronomist with Nigeria Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFOR Benin, the strange palm tree also raises issues of a blend of science with human interest and cultural significance for maximum impact.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
A very pleasant morning to you. Thank you for joining us on the news update. I am Lawrence Osifo. President Bola Tinubu has appointed the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Temitayo Ogundikpe, as the new chairman of the governing board of the National Universities Commission, the NUC. Professor Ogundikpe takes over from Emeritus Professor Olufemi Aina, who resigned from the position less than a year after his appointment. According to the statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the 66-year-old academic brings decades of experience in university administration and research. A renowned professor of botany, Ogundikpe previously served as the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos from 2017 to 2022 and currently holds the position of the Pro-Chancellor at the Redeemers University in Osun State. He is a fellow of several prestigious scientific bodies, including the Nigerian Academy of Science and the Royal Science of Biology in London. As chairman of the NUC Governing Board, Professor Ogundikpe is expected to provide strategic leadership for Nigeria's university system with a focus on funding, academic excellence, global competitiveness, and institutional stability. President Tinubu says that the appointment aligns with his administration's renewed hope agenda to strengthen quality, access, and integrity in the nation's education sector. There was jubilation in Okada, the administrative headquarters of Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State, as residents gathered to celebrate the reopening of the newly renovated town hall. The extensive renovation was funded by the Yesama of Benin and the Patriarch of the House of Igbenedion, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawaru Igbenedion, whose intervention has restored the community's landmark to its former glory. Pius Usowo brings us details.
It was a moment of celebration as elders, women, youth, and other residents of Okada rolled out the drums to welcome the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawari Benedio. The occasion marked the official presentation of the newly refurbished Okada Town Hall, a facility originally built by the Esama several years ago, but which had gradually fallen into a state of disrepair. Following appeals from the community, the referred philanthropist provided the resources for its complete renovation, bringing renewed hope and pride to the people. Chairman of the community, Mr. Edosa, who supervised the renovation project, described the task as enormous and commended the Esama for his unwavering commitment to the development of Okada. The Odionwe and other community elders also expressed profound appreciation, noting that the facelift given to the hall will serve generations to come.
The house is now stronger and will last long. We came to inaugurate the hall which Esama has renovated for us. We are very happy. May God grant him long life.
He came to repair Okada. May he live long.
Responding, the Esama of Benin thanked the people for their warm reception and continued support over the years.
I want to bless someone here today.
In a surprise gesture, he presented a brand new Lexus vehicle to a respected community elder in recognition of his dedication and selfless service to the growth and progress of Okada.
The best day which I will never forget in my life because of what Chief Ignatius has done for me, which is not expected. I didn't dream of it at all. I'm very, very happy.
The colorful event featured cultural performances by women groups and musical renditions by a physically challenged high-life artist from Okada who entertained guests with songs of praise. For the people of Okada, the renovated town hall stands not only as a symbol of community development, but also as another testament to the enduring generosity and legacy of the Esama of Benin. Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
Edo State Security Corps have arrested no fewer than 10 suspected criminals of violation and various offenses at the weekend. The Deputy Corps Commander, Richard Balogun, said that the Corps has zero tolerance for criminal activities in the state. As Jonah Omorowa brings us more details.
According to the Deputy Corps Commander, Richard Balogun, the offenses varies from theft of factory engine from Isigbe Construction Company, alleged armed robbery, exploitation of a vulnerable victim at Ikoba Slope, POS fraud to motorcycle theft.
All the suspects will be handed over to the police. It is now our duty to follow up to see the end of the case. I've told the men that they should go and make statement to the police how their arrest was made, how they were contacted. And that is the role we continue to play so that we sanitize the state generally.
The Deputy Corps Commander said the suspects were arrested following intelligence report and have confessed their level of involvement in the crimes.
To confess pass come out to as they come back. They come back and they go carry go keep for sit down so. They come back go carry am. Carry go keep one side sit down. What's the reason why you are lying here now? This how many people you tell me say one wrong we won't see just now? To me that one wrong. Tell me that one safety they do. Yes. And else they give a card. And they give us card.
This bag now not be you get them. And now as you carry the bag now we be the car and they go. Oluku, you want to go sell them for them. So how many you don't carry give the man?
You don't reach 10. Go for both from Oluku.
10 bags. Okay. How much you say they sell them for them? 30,000 25 for full bag.
According to Balogun, the suspects have been handed over to the police for further investigation and prosecution. From Benin, Jonah Omowa, ITV News.
Some residents in Edo North have bemoaned the hardship
they are facing due to the present economic situation and worsening insecurity. They called on governments to put policies in place to alleviate their suffering. Edo North Bureau Chief McDonald Irunoka brings us more reports.
Speaking with news crew, some residents in Edo North Senatorial District say they are faced with untold hardship associated with current economic reality across the country. While traders say their businesses have nosedived following little or no patronage. Few buyers complain of high prices of goods and services. They call on government to urgently fix the economy so that socio-economic activities can bounce back.
You know they see money when they take buy food. Money no dey. First time they buy 30,000 before now. They say 57,000. We not got money to buy. Help us, oh. Let government help us. We don't suffer, we don't argue.
Others appeal to government and security agencies to address the menace of insecurity.
Life for Nigeria now is that we see many things. We see difficulty, something like bandit. We don't see that kind of thing before. Everywhere we can see some crimes. Many people are committing crimes because of they cannot meet up with their needs. We need effort to gather Nigeria together so that we can get one mouth. No, make sure say it's a very good country to stay.
What 10,000 I can afford for you before, now even 20,000 I can now afford it. We have a lot of challenges here and there. This war that is going on around us, these are the things that are affecting this world. Because when there's crisis in one part of the world, that thing affects the other part of the world.
From Auchi, the administrative headquarters of Isako West Local Government Area of Edo North, McDonald Irunokai, ITV News.
That's the size of our package on the news update for this time. I am Lawrence Osifo, thanking you for watching. Do have a pleasant morning ahead. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
This is TMI Socials. Welcome on board. I am Nuoluwakbo Stevens. About us, they will call me a social media butterfly. Now, tell you what, our video of the day is Firm Terms while she was performing at Chicago during Obama's presidential library right there over the weekend. Obama Presidential Center opening. Take a look at the event. Well, Nigerian artists doing the Lord's work and representing us globally. Shout out to Terms and shout out to Obama and his wife, Michelle. Now, away from that, we kick start with our first story for today. It would be no other story than Art 38 and Art 39 trending currently online, with Lionel Messi breaking an all-time record. Now, Lionel Messi is now the all-time leading scorer in World Cup history. Messi at 38 broke Michel Kohl's long-standing men's record when he opened the scoring in Argentina's Group J victory over Austria. Now, Messi, who has scored in 6 consecutive World Cup matches, then broke Mate's overall record when he added a second late on in his 8th World Cup goal. Argentina's 2-0 victory means the reigning world champions have already secured their place in the knockout round. Let's have a feel of how it went down yesterday. Take a look.
Muy feliz por el triunfo, sobre todo. La verdad que fue un triunfo importantísimo, duro, trabajado, pero que nos da tranquilidad para lo que viene. Esto es el Mundial, todo partido muy igualado, muy intenso y bueno, estamos felices por haber sumado 6 puntos y ya la clasificación.
Okay, now can we have the video when Messi was actually playing at the field? We really appreciate if we could have that video on now. Now let's move over to tweets and reactions if we can. This user wrote, the greatest of all time. We are changing the game. We're changing the name of the game. It's no longer football, it's Messi ball. Messi is the god of football at 39, still the best in the world. Now let's have another tweet on the story if we can. Imagine Messi competing for golden boots in World Cup at 39. Now, away from that, we move over still on the Farrington. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer trended yesterday as he announced his resignation on Monday after less than 2 years in office, in a term characterized by policy U-turns and deep public unpopularity. Now, Starmer said the process of picking a new leader for the centre-left party would be launched in July, and he would remain as Prime Minister until his successor is chosen to be in place before Parliament returns from summer recess in September. Let's listen to him if we have the video.
When I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad, and being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
We need to ask why he set out this timetable. What are we waiting for? There are critical decisions that need to be made, and the Prime Minister is setting out his farewell tour while Andy Burnham wants a summer holiday. It's really, really important that we ensure that the country is being governed. Keir Starmer has had to resign because his defense secretary said he was not looking after national security. Whatever happens now, we need to make sure that national security is the #1 agenda.
How did you react to the story online? Let's watch out. Well, that was Kemi Badenoch right there, reacting to the resignation from Keir Starmer. This user wrote, "Crocodile tears. You made farmers unalive themselves, tried to freeze pensioners to death, and tried to take benefits away from the disabled. Absolutely no sympathy." Another user in this user wrote, "Kemi Badenoch's reaction shows how closely UK political development are being watched within government. Interesting timing with the PM's registration or resignation." Now this user says, "I wish Kemi Badenoch becomes the next Prime Minister of the UK." Okay, well, only time will tell, and we're looking forward to that. Now, back here in Nigeria, Showore, always in the news for interesting reasons, yesterday trended as the Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday ordered the immediate remand of human rights activist and African Action Congress presidential candidate Omoyele Showore at the Kuje Correctional Center. Now, Showore will remain in custody until Wednesday, June 24th, 2026, when legal proceedings are scheduled to resume. The detention stems from a 2-count cybercrime charge filed by the Department of State Services, which accuses Showore of cyber stalking and criminal defamation after he labeled President Bola Tinubu a criminal in an August 2025 social media post. Let's take a look at that moment. Well, interesting times ahead right here in Nigeria. Reacting to this, here's what netizens had to say. This user wrote, "Bandits is the main thing. Oh, not this one. Oh, those guys have taken over our country. Let's use the same energy on them." Another user on X reacting says, "Showore deserves it all. He has been going after innocent government agencies and politicians now. Let him pay." While still in this bit, this user wrote, "Showore's utterances about recruiting prisoners for revolutionary activities make DSS take him away, or am I missing something? This government should leave Showore alone." Now, it's an ongoing conversation, and we're looking forward to how it unfolds with regard to Showore right here in Nigeria. Away from that, yesterday we saw that the presidency reacted to Peter Obi dismissing calls by the Nigerian Democratic Congress presidential candidate, Peter Obi, for President Bola Tinubu's resignation as childish, hollow, and an unworthy distraction. Now, it cited economic data on Tinubu's performance in the past 3 years, arguing that it contrasts with Obi's own record as governor of Anambra State. Let's have the tweet that Obi posted yesterday on X, and that's the tweet that the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, was reacting to yesterday. Now we'll move over to how you took this on socials. We start off with this user reacting to this viral tweet from Peter Obi. Bayo Onanuga released a State House statement yesterday, says Obi's call for President Tinubu's resignation childish and an unwarranted distraction. And it went on and on and on. Away from that, let's see what you said. This one wrote, "You are a mischievous person. UK is practicing parliamentary system of government. Nigeria is practicing presidential system of government. There is a difference between presidential and parliamentary systems of government." Now, another user on X wrote, "Did you resign when you failed to deliver as governor of your state?" Good question. Now, finally, this user says, "When Tinubu demanded President Jonathan's resignation over insecurity, Nigeria was far safer than it is today. Under Tinubu's administration, kidnappings and killings have escalated, while hunger, poverty, and economic hardship have deepened. The same issues once used to criticize others have become even worse under the failed Tinubu's government." Alrighty, now we wrap up TMI Socials this morning with a viral video about about a young woman who was seen visibly injured. She is aged 18, married to this said man, and now this video has sparked reactions on social media and offline over allegations of domestic abuse. Now in this video we get to see the 18-year-old girl crying and pleading for them not to arrest her beater. Take a look.
Please, I'm begging you in the name of God.
That's okay.
It will be as if it's my fault. The mother don't like me, please. Please. Let me just carry myself and be going. Mommy has me.
We're arresting you.
She's scared of him. She's so scared of him. She's so scared of him. It will not affect you. It will not affect you. It will be as if I'm the cause because the family don't like the cause. I want to go to just leave him. Let me go. It's a lie. I'm not going to the marriage again. I swear to God, people should just leave.
Well, it's really a sad one and an ongoing one, but news reaching me that the man has finally been arrested. A clear case of leave to live. Now that's how we wrap up TMI Socials this morning. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I am Anuoluwapo Stevens. We'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, stay safe.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.